Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I am super jazzed to be here as always. We have rainbows floating around us today, so hopefully they're not too distracting for you. We are doing a video on the new moon that's coming up on March 24th in the sign of Aries. I almost said Aquarius. In the sign of Aries. So we're going to break down the archetype, how we can utilize and work with this energy, have some time for self-reflection and visualization of where we want to improve in our lives, and then we're going to talk about some positive affirmations and such. On my previous post for my new moon in Pisces video, I had a couple people ask for correspondence for the zodiac signs to use during an actual ritual. While I would love to provide this information for you guys, these videos already become really long by the time I'm done filming and getting all of this information out. So I feel like if it's something you guys are interested in, I can do a separate video series for the correspondences of the zodiac signs themselves. If that is something you guys are interested in, let me know in the comments below. I just feel like these videos are already quite full and lengthy, so in order to add more information in, they would be longer, and I don't know if you would all be down for that because they're already like 30 minutes. Aries is a cardinal fire sign, and it rules the first house of the astrological wheel of the year. When you think of the fire element in regards to the zodiac sign, it really just screams Aries. I do have some beautiful people in my life who are Aries, so I'm blessed to be surrounded by these individuals. They have a fire, literal fire passion for life that is so prevalent in everything that they do. They really have no choice but to burn bright. Of course, there is positives and negatives to the Aries archetypes, and we'll get into the negatives a little bit later on. But just to cover some of the beautiful things that Aries are the embodiment of, would be that classic leadership role we all have come to see in the movies. When you think and imagine what a leader is, that in and of itself is very much so the Aries archetype. They are bright and awake and very present, passionate, creative in the moment, people who very fly at the seam of their pants when it comes to decision making, but they always rise to a challenge. It's always full steam ahead, and they're very driven people. Yeah, this can be a little bit of a negative thing when it gets too intense and you start doing the bulldozing effect of not considering other people, full steam ahead despite all of the warning signs and the precautions you should be taking. You just steamroll anyway. There is really love and good intentions behind these kinds of tendencies with an Aries. Aries ruler is Mars, so this also lends some more clarity to this type of energy that Aries holds. Mars is all about action. Your Mars placement, even in your birth chart, represents how you create, how you outwardly express. It is the masculine balance to Venus, which is the feminine. So it has a lot of those masculine, passionate, stabilizing warrior qualities and traits that you would associate with the male archetype or Mars. That is all so strongly in Aries, especially because it's not only a sign ruled by Mars, it's a fire cardinal sign ruled by Mars. These are all just very similar traits that are kind of compounded upon each other. Aries is a very, I want to say, pure sign, only because it's so clearly what it is. It is the first house, which is also known as the ascendant. So it covers all of your firsts, the leaders, the decision making, the starting of new projects. It's the go, it's the outward projection, the creation, the forward advancement. A few key words that might help you get into kind of the headspace and the mindset of Aries would be masculinity. It would be stamina, courage, bravery, adventure, freedom, vitality, life, fire. It is cardinal. Cardinal energy always is at the start of the next quadrant of the actual wheel of the year. So one day I'll do a video about it and I'll show you what I'm talking about if you don't know the modalities of the zodiac. However, cardinal is the start. In the fire sign, it is Aries. In Earth, it's Capricorn. In air, it's Libra. These are the initiators. They are the first of the zodiac in that quarter of the wheel. What that means is they have this forward drive, and cardinal energy presents itself very differently in each of the elements, but with a fire element, with an element that is passionate and expansive in and of itself. Having it be that cardinal placement again just brings so much life and passion and possibility into what Aries is, especially because it's not just a cardinal, it's not just the fire sign, it's the first fire sign, it's the first cardinal sign. It rules the first house. It is the energy, the light, the start of all that is. And you can see it in dynamics too. If you're in a social situation and you have an Aries in the room, God knows, like, Aries, what are we doing? I'm a Capricorn, and of course there's some headbutting between Aries and Capricorns. I do have mad respect for the tenacity that these people have for life in general. Yes, to be fair, we will acknowledge that there's some cons to this. They can be very pig-headed. They can be inconsiderate of people's feelings. They can be so outwardly focused and moving that they sometimes don't take time to reflect internally. Yeah, it's kind of like if you think about a fire, right? So if Aries is not balanced, so if the fire is too big or too small, the people around Aries will suffer. So if the Aries is feeling low energy and sad and quiet, everybody around them is kind of dull and cold, and they're not lit up with the light and the heat of the fire. But at the same time, if you feed the fire too much, if Aries is too over the top, all of the people around them are too hot, it's too intense, it's too much. They need to move away from the fire. So it's about finding this energy balance for Aries to exist in a good equilibrium where they can operate, because it's better for them, it's more sustainable, it's more conducive to a good environment, and it also fosters a beautiful community around them. These people get so much goodness from Aries when they're doing well and they're in a good place, that it's really important Aries learns how to moderate their fire, moderate their cardinal energy. So we've talked about Aries being a cardinal sign, that initiation, new endeavor kind of energy, the leader. We've talked about them being a fire sign, which is very expansive, intense, creative, passionate, warm, bright, that loving warmth behind all of their actions. You can see it in Sagittarius and Leo, which are the other fire signs. It really brings the heart forward. We've covered that Aries is a cardinal sign. They have that initiative. They are the first in that quadrant of the little wheel of the year. They are the leaders. We've covered that they are a fire sign, which makes them warm, expansive, passionate, and driven. And they are also the ruler of the first house. So the first house is the area of life that we like to focus in and set intentions of while we're working with Aries energy for this new moon. The first house, your ascendant house, is all about yourself. It is all about you and your firsts, the image of yourself that you have, but also the image of yourself that you project to the outer world, what everyone else sees you as. It's just you. So what better way to use such brilliant, fiery, and excitable energy as Aries than for yourself? So for me, I'm going to take some time right now and do some self-reflection about myself and my life. I hope you do the same and you join me. Put yourself in the mindset of what the Aries archetype might have to teach you in regards to yourself. Hit that pause button, do some self-reflection, and push play whenever you are ready. I do hope that you take some time to do some deep breathing, get in a meditative state so that you can sit there and really embody the Aries archetype and see where that leads you. And then I'll meet you back here so we can talk about setting some clear intentions and positive affirmations to use for the next lunar cycle. Welcome back. So like I said, Aries is the ruler of the first house. This can be the area of your life that's solely about your personal development, your inner world, your likes, dislikes, establishing things that serve you, no longer serve you, but it can also be how other people see you. So depending on where you felt like taking this, you could have gone in a direction where you were wanting to work on other people's opinions and understanding of yourself. So an area of your life you could choose to work on would be fixing some communication with someone specifically and addressing your appearance or their perception of you, even if that's maybe in the public eye on social media, or if it's more of a personal one-on-one situation. The route that I'm choosing to go with this, because I believe that it's easier to change, you can only change yourself, you can't change other people, is to take some time and evaluate things that I really, really love about myself, celebrate those things with the fun and excitable energy of fire, and also get really excited and driven to serve myself better. Whether that is in self-love ways where I am passionately taking care of myself, which means I get to do fun things for myself like pamper days or arts and crafts that feed my soul. But I really want to, for myself, utilize this Aryan archetype and this new moon ritual time to set an intention to fight for me, to celebrate me, to enjoy my life, and to find different ways to feel that fire and that passion about my life and who I am, and get excited about me, because we only got one of us here, right? So you gotta look out for number one. That's what I'm choosing to use this energy as, but that doesn't mean you have to. If your meditation and your retrospect and introspection led you, retrospect energy? Whatever. If it led you to a different answer and that's going to be your intention for this new moon ritual, by all means, take it and run with it. The Aryan energy can be interpreted by many different people through many different lenses as different things. So as long as you feel like it resonates with you and that it's going to help you, and if it vibes good for you, work with it. Because the first house rules ourselves and our appearance, another area of your life that you could choose to focus on right now would be physical fitness. If you're wanting to get back into the gym, get to a certain weight or body size, or if you are wanting to put in work towards something about your physical appearance, whether that be a Britney Spears hair shave moment, or a tattoo, or the gym, or something that you get to actively do for your appearance. Another good way to use the Aryan archetype would be to learn how to speak up for yourself more. If you're someone who is maybe a bit more muted in the way that they communicate and are softer in the way you approach reinforcing and enforcing your boundaries, using this Aries energy, this warrior archetype, to help you really stand up for yourself and hold space for yourself when you need to, this is a great time to try and step into that a little bit. And I know that that's very scary for a lot of people, especially if they don't have Aryan traits in their chart, but it's something that I think everyone can do a little bit more, is make sure that they are standing up for themselves, they are taking care of number one, because you are allowed to take up space, you deserve to be here, you're a beautiful individual. So make sure that if you choose to work with the Aryan archetype in that area of your life and take care of yourself, that you do so with integrity and with the utmost respect. Looking at your relationship with the divine masculine in relationship to yourself. I know that the world is on a divine feminine kick, and I think that's because globally we need a lot more of the feminine influence, all the way from the top to the bottom. So the government down to individual people. I know that we've been living in a very masculine world. However, I don't believe that balance will be achieved by going all the way to the other side and only living in the feminine now. So working with Aryan energy, that leadership, that warrior archetype, and seeing what that means to you, and to reflect and spend time on your personal understanding of masculinity. If you have resistance there, or if your masculine energy flows freely, what does masculinity look like to you? It's a good combination to take this time and look at masculinity in relation to yourself. We have come to the positive affirmation portion of the video, where we talk about some of the supporting sentences and little gentle reminders that we can insert into our mundane lives that will support our spiritual intention setting and bring this new moon magic ritual into your everyday. These positive affirmations for me are probably my biggest and most favorite takeaway of doing new moon rituals and intention setting. And I know I think I say that every video, but it's very true, because it takes these grandiose experiences, these meditative and intentional moments that we set up for ourselves, known as rituals, and it takes that energy and those profound thoughts and puts them into digestible reminders that can help trigger that emotional response that you had in this ritual, or through setting these intentions or having this kind of time set aside for yourself. So depending on the intention that you actually set, maybe it is to set stronger boundaries, then your positive affirmation might sound something like, I deserve to take up space. So when you walk into a room and your confidence is a little questioned because it's intimidating, and you remember, hey man, I deserve to take up space. I'm a badass Aries manifestation in the moment, and you walk in there with your head held high, that's a win. Or if it's something along the lines of loving yourself, taking care of your physical form, working out, nurturing your body, and using your body, feeling those muscles pump, running, expression, right? It's about that movement, that physical expression. Our bodies is our physical expression. So those positive affirmations can be very physical. They can be very short. They can be very complicated, but it can be as simple as, I am strong. I am enough. I am here. I take up space. I'm a badass. I am that I am. It can be that simple. I have strong legs. I have good arms. I have a powerful torso, or whatever you're working on. I have dimples on my face and I love them because it shows you how much I smile, or whatever. It's about really embracing your physical expression. So whatever you might not be feeling positive about or you might shy away from, take that, spin it into a positive, and say it till the cows come home. I'm a badass. I'm strong. It doesn't matter. I'm here. I'm alive. Celebrate it. Aries is this celebratory energy, and I think you can kind of tell in the way I'm filming this video because I'm getting a little amped up here, but I want to say it's a party. It's not about going out and partying, but it's just a celebration of life. There's so much life that Aries can bring to you that I don't even have a lot of negative to say about it, really. There would be a small warning and word of caution about making sure you're being gentle with those around you so that they don't either get drug under by your intensity or burnt by the fire because you're shining so bright. But remembering to be aware of others while you're thriving is always the balance that Aries needs to strike. But that being said, celebrating the individual self, I find, especially in the 2020, in the world we live in right now, can be really hard and can be taken as egotistical and shunned and frowned upon, when in reality, you have to look out for yourself. All you have right now, in the given moment, is this physical body. This is what you reside in. Self should be celebrated. It's not about being completely separate from everybody or being separate from the whole. It's just that, yeah, you are separate. You are a separate entity right now. And that's okay, and that's good, and it's beautiful, and you can celebrate it. It doesn't have to be, it's not vain. Don't be feeling like you're vain for wanting to take up space, for wanting to be seen. Leos get a lot of flack for that too, where it's like, oh, it's all about the Leo. They're all so fancy and like, look at my diamond rings. Hell yeah, man. You like your diamond rings. Look at your diamond rings. Good job. Like, you're allowed to take up space. You're allowed to exist. You're allowed to be here. Celebrate it. Don't dim your light for nobody, man. As long as you're coming from a place of like goodness. So I know that this video is definitely less structured than my previous ones, but I just want you guys to feel into what Aries and the archetype of Aries, what it can do for you, what it can give you in your life. Aries people, the archetype of Aries is a beautiful sign. They are passionate, they are driven, they are bright, they are strong and bold, and you can have a positive affirmation that is, I am brave, I am bold, and that to a T is an Aries. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, guys, if you are wanting me to include or to create separate videos about some more of the actual correspondence, physical things like candle colors, scents, herbs, items, altar wear that you could use to pull and call upon the different zodiac signs, let me know in the comments below if that's something you're interested in. I know a lot of people choose to work with the zodiac signs in many different ways, in different rituals. So if I can provide information that might be useful for you to optimize and work with these energies, I would love to do that. I don't think it'll make it into these videos just because I ramble, and we already are here for a long time by the end of that. Anyway, I am so happy that I got to spend this time with you. Please hit that like button and remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I hope you have a fantastic new moon ritual, and remember, you can do absolutely anything because you are a badass. Thanks, guys. Bye. Mwah!